So this is the earring we're going to make, and I love how this design using different colored golds kind of gives it a little depth in the frame around the rivoli crystal and really lets the rivoli crystal color pop. I made it in several different colors here, and I made a silver version as well. For these earrings, we're going to need some 4mm round beads, 14 per earring. We're going to need super duos, 5 per earring. We're going to need a 14mm rivoli crystal, and we're going to need 11O Toho seed beads and 15O seed beads, as well as a 6 or 8 seed bead for the ear hook and the jump ring to go through. So one thing I'll point out about the color is I chose kind of a brighter gold for the seed beads and a medium gold for the super duos and a dark gold for the 4mm round beads. And that's to kind of give it the piece a little bit of depth in the frame around the 14mm rivoli so that it really pops and it gives it kind of an old world feel. So these are the materials we'll need. So let's get started. Okay, I'm going to start off with a stop bead. Then I'm going to string on 36 15-ohs. I'm going to do them 6 at a time. So there's 6. And get 6 more. String those on. Now we're at 12. We'll put 6 more on. String those on. Now we're at 18. Put 6 more. String those on. 6 more. Right now we're at 24. String that on. Now we're at 30. And 6 more. All right, and that puts us at 36. Now, sometimes I can get my whole needle through this, all 36 beads. So I'm going to try. If not, just make a couple passes. Just kind of feed the needle through. Okay, I did it. Sometimes I have to make a couple passes, but this time I'm going to pull the needle through to form a loop. And now that I've got a loop, I can take this stop bead off and tie a knot. Okay, next I'm going to thread on a 15, an 11, and a 15. 15, 11, 15. And the bead I'm coming out of, I want to go through out again and then 6 more, so a total of 7. Just going through 7 beads, and I'll pull that through. And I'll kind of want to repeat that all the way around. So 15, an 11, and a 15. I want to go through the bead I'm coming out of, plus 6 more, total of 7. (15, 11, and 15). And go through the bead I'm coming out of, and 6 more. 15, 11, and 15. Do that 2 more times. 15, 11, and 15. Okay, 15, 11, and 15 for the last one. So I should be coming out of the same place I started. Same place the thread end is coming out of. Okay, so now I want to go up this 15 and through this 11. I'm going to flip this over. Before I do that, I'm going to clip this thread because it's now getting in my way. Okay. So now that my thread's pointing up, I'm going to put 5 11-ohs on and go through the next 11-oh. And I'll do that all the way around. Five 11-ohs. Through the next 11-oh. 5 more 11-ohs through the next one. More 11-ohs through the next 11-oh. Five 11-ohs through the next one. Okay, so I've got the last set of 5 11-ohs, and this time I'm going to go through that 11 plus 2 more, so a total of 3. Okay, so now I'm going to skip 1, go through 2, skip 1, go through 2, all the way around. So I'll skip 1 bead, go through 2, skip 1, go through 2, pull that tight. See, it makes a kind of a corner there. Skip 1, go through 2, skip 1, go through 2, you can see that the ring is starting to fold up and look like a crown. That's what we want. Continue around, skip 1, go through 2, 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 continue that around. Skip one, go through two, skip one, go through two. Skip one, go through two. When I'm kind of near the end, I just do one at a time here because it's starting to tighten up. And so I'm back where I started. I need to skip one and now go through three. So I'm at and coming out the top of that little crown peak. Okay. So as we tighten this, we could see it's kind of folded up into a crown shape. That's what we want. And we'll be ready for the rivoli crystal here in a minute. So I'm going to, all the way around, I put 2 on and go through the next peak. So put 2 11-0s on and go through the next peak. You can keep this loose for the first half of the circle here. Put on 2 11-0s, go through the next peak. Put on 2 11-0s, go through the next peak. And I've gone about halfway through. I'll go one more before I put the crystal in. 2 seed beads, go through the next peak. Okay, so I'm not tightening it yet. I'm going to go ahead and put the crystal in. This is the crystal. I'm going to put it in face down because this is going to be the back of it. And as I tighten, I can see it's starting to encase it. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 more on, finish the case here. And go through the next peak. Pull that tight as you go. Put 2 more on. Go through the next. This is the last one, so we're going to go through it. And we're just going to kind of reinforce it and go around at least a half of a circle until it kind of stays put without having to tighten it. Going through 3 at a time. This peak should be pointing out. Gonna fix that. Okay. And we'll keep going around a couple more. Okay, this seems pretty stable. So what I'm going to do is I want to get up to this seed bead, so I'm going to go through, change the path because I want to get onto the edge. So I'm going to go through these 1, 2, 3. Sometimes when it's tight you have to do one at a time, but we'll see how it works here. Got through one. Go through the next one. And this tip. All right. So this is what it looks like on the other side, which is really nice. And it's really showing almost the full diameter of the crystal, which I like. Just more color and reflection in the light. So because I like working this way, I'm going to just work on the bottom here, or on the back side. The next step is to put a 4mm, an 11/0 seed bead, and a 4mm. And then go through the next tip here of the star. And I'm going to repeat that all the way around. 4mm, 11/0, 4mm. Go through the next one. And as I go through the last one, I want to go through the 4mm as well, so that I can get into this bead, the new tip of the star. Go through that seed bead. Okay, so now from here, I want to put 3 11/0s on my needle and go back through the seed bead to make a little floret. And I want to kind of go through the 4mm as well. Okay, now I want to put on a superduo and then go through the next 4mm and seed bead. And that should pop in right there. I'm going to do another floret. Put 3 11/0s on. Go back through the seed bead and another 4mm. And I want to do another superduo. Sometimes I check if both holes are open. Okay, and then I'm going to go through the 4mm and a seed bead at the top there. Okay, now I do one last floret. I put 3 11/0s on. Go back through the seed bead and the 4mm. Now for the rest of the way around, I'm just going to put a seed bead between where there's the gaps here and here. So I'm going to add 1 11/0, go through the 4mm and the seed bead. Continue down through the other 4mm and 1 seed bead. Put that on. Okay, and this is my last seed bead for this row. One seed bead. And this time I want to go through the 4mm, but up through this side of the floret here. Okay. Now to sort of scrunch this together, this floret, I'm going to skip the top one and go through down through the other side of the floret. Okay, and then I'm going to put on 3 11-ohs. And go through the top of this super duo. Okay, next I want to put on a 4mm and a super duo. I want to go through the tip of this floret. And I'll reverse that and put a super duo, then a 4mm on. And I'll go through this top of this super duo. Then I want to put on 3 11-ohs. And I want to go up through the side of this floret here. And I'll skip the tip and I'll go back down through this floret. That seed bead on the side of the floret. Okay, so now if I turn it over, I can start seeing that the top is starting to be formed. The next step is to put 3 seed beads on and go through each of these. Put 3 on, go through a seed bead. Put 3 on, go through a seed bead. Through all the way around till you get to here. So put 3 11-ohs on. And go through this next seed bead. Put 3 on. Go through the next seed bead. Put 3 on, go through the next seed bead. Put 3 on, go to the next seed bead. Okay, this is the last one. 3 11-ohs. And this time I want to go up through this seed bead here. Same one I went up through before. Okay, so I want to skip this bead and go through the next 4. seed beads. And I want to go through the superduo and the 4mm, and if I can, the next superduo. I'm going to go through this seed bead here and through the next superduo, the bottom of it. Okay, next step is to put one 11-0 on and go through the other hole of the superduo. And I'm going to put on a superduo. Check both holes here. And then I'm going to go through the top of the other superduo. Now I'm going to put two 11-0s, and I'm going to go through the tip, the other hole of the seed bead the superduo I just added. Okay, now I'm going to put on an 11-0, a 6 or 8 seed bead, and an 11-0. This is the 6 or 8 seed bead is for the jump ring to go through later. I will go back through that tip of that superduo. Now I'll put on 2 superduos. And I will go through all 3 superduos. The top of this one, the bottom of this one, and continue through the top of this one. Now I'm going to put one and then go back through the superduo, the seed bead, and the other superduo. Now I'm going to go all the way around to reinforce and connect all those seed beads we just added. So I'm going to go up through 4 seed beads, turn it around here, through the 6 or 8 seed bead at the tip, and down through these 4 seed beads. Now I'm going to go through the 4mm and superduo. I'm going to go through the next 4 seed beads. Okay, so I've just gone through those 4, and then I want to skip this one and go down this seed bead. Okay, now what I want to do is go through all of these seed beads I added earlier, and I'm going to add one in 3 places, here and at the tip and then here where there's kind of a gap. Okay, so I'm going to go through 6 and then put on 1 basically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Okay, so here's where I want to add a seed bead, an 11-0, and then I go through the next 6. Start with 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm at the next gap, which is at the tip, bottom of the earring. So I'm going to put on 1 seed bead and go through the next 6. Start with 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so this is my last seed bead. And I'll go through the next 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can go through and keep going because I want to end up here at the top before I tie my knot. So I'll just skip this bead like I've been doing and go through the next 4 seed beads. If it's too tight, just go through one at a time. Okay, I'm going to go through the super duo and the 4mm. And here I'm going to go through 4 seed beads. And go through here at the top. Now, I'm going to have another video that shows you how to make a beaded veil if you want to turn this earring into a pendant. So, but if you're going to make this an earring, you can continue it and tie a knot. So I'll just continue it here. See if I can get my needle under a thread here. I'll make a loop, go through once, twice, and pull to tighten the knot. Then after I snip that, I just put a jump ring through here and attach the ear hook. So that is how you make the Georgiana earring.